Collective Clips. What's up with it? Before we get into anything, and I said anything, man, and in Menudo style in direct fashion, what I need you to do, yeah, you right there watching this, I need you to like, subscribe, tap the notification button, put it on all. After you're done doing all this, come right back and listen to the story that I'm about to tell. Norteños from out of state, the northern raza, right? Everybody knows about the Norteños and Califas. California. California dream. I'm going. That motherfucker should have never came back to Cali, right? Because it gets ugly. But one thing I'll tell you, and it's for sure, right? Guard! I'm going to get down, right? One thing I'll tell you is California is split into two, right? I hate to say it, but it's just the fucking way it is, right? You have Northern California. That's where I'm from. And then you have Southern California. And that's where they're from, right? Now, there's always been, since I've been born, since I've been around, right? A separation of the two. Maybe not necessarily the land, but there is, the wind's blowing, a fucking linea in the sand that's drawn, and everybody knows you stay down there, we'll stay up here, it's all good, right? Now, the motherfucking Southerners decided that if for no other reason, their land wasn't big enough. Your land is our land. We'll take over your land. So they planted flags all throughout Northern California. They were able to establish strongholds. And I've told stories about that. Many people have. It's just the way it is, man. That's the way it's going to be like, right? Southerners have invaded Northern California and they have established. Now, you could talk to Norteños from every city, from Sacramento on back to Fresno, and they'll say, they ain't over here, right? But they are. That's just the way it is. It doesn't mean the Norteños are weak or couldn't handle their business. It just means Southerners have so many numbers. They had to go somewhere. And they fucking decided to go to Tulare County, to Merced County, to every county, oh my. And that's where they ended up. Oh boy, like Bob used to say. Hey, they're there. It's not Rosie hugging an apricot tree. It's Sureños established, considering themselves upstaters in Northern California. But there's a new movement that's going on. It's actually not a new movement. It's been going on for a long time, but it's starting to gain numbers and traction. And that's the Norteño movement out of state. All along the West Coast, states like California, Oregon, Washington. Then you got Idaho, Montana, Nebraska, Florida. Norteños are in abundance and they're everywhere. Now you have to understand, and people always tell me this all the time, why didn't the Norteños just move down south into Southern California and stake their claim there? Well, they decided that if for no other reason, up north and to the east was a more prominent land for them to gain, right? Plus, I ain't gonna lie, man, there's too many damn Southsiders down south. There ain't no room, that's it. There ain't no room, man, and the Southsiders ain't letting no one come in and set up shop, man. They are not doing that. That's just the way it is. That's the way it's gonna be. And you're asking the wrong person. I don't know why come or how come. I just know that it never was and it never shall be, right? There are Norteños that do live in Southern California, but there are not no established barrios there. There's none of that. Anyone who says there is, they're lying to you, homie. You know, straight up. Believe me, I was a Norteño for a long time. I functioned like that. And I'm going to tell you right now, we never, and I mean never even talked about going to Southern California unless it was to go to Magic Mountain or to Disneyland to get our motherfucking orejan. Straight up, Mickey Mouseketeer. That was it. Nobody was tripping on trying to establish a barrio. No one was trying to stake a claim. Everybody knew that was Sud and that was their shit. Now, however the Norteños are dealing with, you know, the influx of Southsiders up north in Northern California, well, I'll tell you how it's been. It's been guerra. It's been war. It's been a lot of bloodshed, a lot of blood spilled. It's a lot of raza dying at the hands of other raza for whatever case, for whatever reason you put on it, for whatever spin you could put on it, right? Everybody knows Norteños and Sureños funk. It's just the way it's been. It's changing a little bit, and I hope it can change one day where permanently everybody is one and everybody's pushing that movement. But until then, they're going to do what they does, cuz, and I just stay the fuck up out their way because nobody likes me anyways. Now, living out of state. I've lived out of state many years, right? I've lived in Oregon. I've lived in Washington. I've lived in Ida Pimp, not the hoe, right? I've lived in several different states, and everywhere I went, I kind of wanted to see what the scene was like, see who was there, who was established. And I'm going to tell you right now, quietly as it's kept, 18 streets everywhere, allegedly. Let's just say that, right? But there was Crips and Bloods and local gangs and homegrown gangs. And I seen a lot of Southsiders. There was always Southsiders everywhere. Like I said, there's so many of them, they spill into the map. But they're starting to become a lot of Norteños. I started to see a lot of tagging, a lot of identifying marks, Huelga birds, four dots, Ishpolme, things of that nature. And I started to understand straight up the Norteños were coming in And they were coming in strong. Now, over the last several years, what you had happen was something happened in prison. I'll give you a guess. I'll hold. That was long enough, right? If you haven't guessed it, let me give it to you, right? There was a lot of people that got apprehended in an Operation Black Widow, right? Something that took place in the early 2000s. Now, we all know about that. If you know, you know, right? And that's where the Norteño leadership was caught up. And of course, they were sent to the feds. Okay, they went to do Fed time. Now, what happens in the feds? I'll tell you what happens in the feds. You got a whole gaggle of guys coming from different states. You guys got guys coming from Washington, D.C., Maryland. Of course, you got guys from Chicago, guys from Idaho. Like I said, you got guys from fucking Virginia. Wherever they're coming from, they're coming. And when you have these smart-minded, these very intelligent, sly, slick individuals that know what time it is, they're going to game them up. They're going to give them all the game, right? These vatos are going to be like Jorge Masvidal. They're going to be game bred. They're going to be laced up and educated by real seasoned vets from California who have been placed in the federal system. And so now what happens? These guys start to recruit in numbers and go back out to the towns they come from. They go back to Pittsburgh. They go back to Detroit. They go back to Houston, stand up. They go back to all these different states and they take that philosophy, that motherfucking, they're worthy of the cause, so they take that push. They start to establish branch and union, the cause out there, setting their flags down, the Norteño movement. Now, when I was taught the movement, right, I was laced up by a real OG, my Theo, right? And he gave me the game. Rest in peace, Theo. You already know what it is. I'll be there one day, probably soon. I don't know. The way people like me around this camp. Anyways, the way it was, gente, was I was taught that it was a glorious movement, a righteous movement, that it was something, being from Northern California was a privilege and honor, right? And I carried myself as such. I thought my shit didn't stink. It didn't smell like nada. It smelled like roses and crimson and clover. But quickly I found out that that wasn't to be and it was game over. But in the meantime, in between time, what I did find out was that the Norteño movement was and always will be near and dear to my heart. You know, it wasn't something that was bad. It wasn't started off or intended to be bad. You know, I was a proud vato. I was proud. I was a proud boy, homie. You know what I mean? I was there, hey, Trump, right? I was doing my thing. I was proud to be Northern Raza, okay? All the great things about it. The bad things, I took the bad with the good and tried to make a mix out of it. Of course, obviously, it didn't work out for me, and it doesn't work out for a lot of other individuals, but that doesn't mean it's not a great thing. So anyways, Norteños are starting to establish in all these different states. And is it watered down? Is it agua? Is it what? Is it don't go chasing waterfall? It ain't none of that. What it is, real talk, is just a lot more people out there doing their thing. How does it affect Califas? Well, they can't, everybody wants to be from Califas. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. Not everybody, but you know what I'm saying. A lot of people look to California when it comes to this gangster shit. They look to California to get educated on the stilo, on what has to happen and what's going to happen. Okay, California's always been in the leadership. You got New York on the east. You got Atlanta and Florida holding it down in the south. Texas is their own. We ain't even going to Texas right now. Okay? They're doing their own thing. No shirt, con un pinche Mexican, no teeth, that everywhere. And Swifty hiding over there. They're doing their own thing. And then, of course, you got Califas, right? Everybody sees Califas as an innovator and someone who established for the gangster movement. They started the gangster shit. This is the motherfucking things they get. Just now, we're starting to see a lot of these gangs and groups gain their respect in their respective states. Starting to push that hard line. I met a lot of individuals from different states that were Norteños. Case in point, man, Yakima, Washington. Orale, the Yak Town, right? Because the Yak Town got me like this, right? Yakima, Washington is a stronghold, man, allegedly. I don't want to put them on blast, but I'm just saying they have righteously had a lot of Norteños in the state of Washington for several years. They have righteously held their own, man, and you see a lot of guys like Babyface, free Babyface, man. I ain't mad at the kid, right? You see a lot of guys like that hanging out with a lot of guys from California, being influenced, getting that clecha, that education, man, and doing his thing within his ganga, within his gang out there, his barrio. That's just how it is in different states. In the beginning, it was kind of like, man, fuck them, them vatos are watered down, homes. Them vatos want to be what they can never be. But it's not like that no more. Once these guys got the feds and were able to pick and choose righteous ones and pull vatos and put Vatos in position to go out there and really make moves, let me tell you, the whole game changed, and it changed overnight, and it changed fast, gente. Now what you have is the Norteño movement solid and strong, and they're starting to gain numbers in different states. The time is now, raza. Not about gangs, but about the brown movement. If we can have establishments in different states, if we could have, because there's, wait on, let me fix this. Okay? So I look cool. I'm feeling good right now. I just went to the doctor shit. You know what I mean? And he told me some good news. So I'm feeling great. So anyways, if you could go to, I lost my train of thought, but if you can go to other states, right, and establish, and you could do all this with the gang philosophy, why can't you fucking get along and do it right here at home? It's going to happen. You know, there's a lot of people I see. Case in point, Bozo from down south, Southern California, the rapper, right? I was watching YouTube the other day and something popped up, a little short, and he was talking about the Norteños. Now, we already know he has disdain or distaste for the Norteño movement, and I ain't mad at him, homes. I ain't mad at him because this is the reason why. That's what he was taught. When he got incarcerated, these were the enemies. These were the people, the opposition, the people who he went against. So to him, he feels like working hand in hand or even fucking kicking it or even associating on any level is disastrous to his career, and he just ain't feeling it. And he has the right to not just feel it. But there's other Vatos that have done time and do show a lot of respect towards each other, north and south. You see it all the time on YouTube. A lot of Vatos saying, you know what I mean? I ain't tripping, hoes. I ain't fucking with them other Vatos. And then later on, they're like, hey, them Vatos are cool. They ain't that bad. They're hardcore too, right? Everybody has hitters. Everybody is hard. You know? Let me tell you about an upstate Norteño. I was about to say upstate. That the Sureños already got that one unlocked too. An out-of-state northerner. So I moved, right? I'm in Washington, living in Washington. Washington State on the west. Not where the president is, I say. Clean out your ears and open your eyes, right? So I'm over there. I'm working this big-ass company, and we're welding. You know, I do a little welding for a time or two, right? So we're welding, and I meet this Vato. And at this time, I was still active. I was still with the business. I was just working, trying to get my shit together, trying to stay up out the way. And I meet him, and he has a big old apple tattooed on his throat, right? I said, "Sabes, que Vato must be from New York. Take a bite out of crime, right?" And so I meet him. I'm like, "What's up?" And I could tell he's Chicano, and he's like, "What's up, bro?" And now Norteños historically have always used the word bro. You know, you meet a Southsider, he's like, "What's up, Bessie? What's up, doggy? What's up, dog?" You know, a Norteño will always be like, "What's up, carnal? What's up, bro?" Not to say they're the only ones that use that, but traditionally, that's the way it's been. At least that's from what I know, right? So he's like, "What's up, bro?" And I was like, "Hey, you a homie?" And he was like, "What kind of homie you talking about?" I said, "Well, fucking not a gay homie. You know what I mean? Are you a homie or what?" He was like, "I'm a Norteño." I was like, me too. I was all happy, right? So he became my taita at work, of course, automatically. He's a homeboy. We're functioning. We're doing the same thing. And I thought this guy was beneath me, you know, because he looked up to me. He was older, but he looked up to me. He was like, "Damn, bro, how do they do it here? How do they do it there? What's it like? Hey, what's up with that bulldog? What's up with this? What's up with that?" He had a lot of questions because, of course, he only knows so much. And I had a lot of questions myself. I asked him how his Vato got established, how long they've been around, you know, what are they into, what enemies do they have, who do they fight? So I asked him, what is his reasoning for being a homeboy? You know, what is his set goals? You know, what's he trying to do? And I started to teach him the bonds and lace him up on a few little things that I knew. I didn't know much, but I knew enough, right? So I'm giving him game. He's giving me game right back. We're working off each other, you know, and it was perfect. But anyways, I always felt that he was watered down. I always felt that not necessarily him, but his whole little thing he had going on wasn't with the business. I didn't know, but I was going to find out, right? So I remember that this Vato used to be in the spoon a little bit, right? So I was trying to detour him from indulging in hard drugs. I was lacing him, telling him at that time, Norteños did not use hard drugs. That wasn't our get down, homeboy. You know what I mean? You got to stay fit, ready for whatever, right? So he was trying, but when you have those type of demons and that monkey on your back, man, it's hard. It's hard to shake. You know, my deal was in the spoon for a minute. A lot of people, for a minute, for about 50 years, but a lot of people are in it for a whole long minute, right? So he's doing that, and we're kicking it. I'm kicking it with this hood, meeting his homeboys, boning every homegirl he had because it would be like that sometimes. And there was this bad one, this white girl. They called her La Güera. By the time I was done with her, they called her La Chueca. Straight up. I'm just going to tell you right now. Tawanga esa. Anyways, we were all after I was done. We were all kicking back. And I just felt good to be around some homeboys. The canalismo, the embrace, it was real, right? And I was really getting a feel for the out-of-state movement, how they were doing it. And they were a little different. So it was a little outlandish at times. But they were getting their shit together, that's it. They were getting it together, homes. And it took people like me and other people to give them that game. And they hadn't ran into a norteño from Califas for, I don't even know how long, right? But they were just happy to have me around. And I thought I was big, homie. So I'm chilling. Anyways, this Vato, man, you know, and I thought, you know, they're really not doing nothing. They're kind of like a party crew, graffiti. They kick back, they tag a little bit, and then they bone all the white chicks. All the white chicks think they're Mexicanas. What's up, ese? Right? What's up, Bene? They all a bunch of white girls, you know what I mean? Nah, Cisco's my old man, right? They're all on their fucking Mi Vida Loca shit, right? Sad girl, right? But at the same time, they were fine-ass white chick. You know, that's when white chicks started winning, when they started getting, before BBO, when they just started, it just came from nowhere. That's after one brother pulled one, that was it. He must have gave him the secret potion that the Africanas got. Because that's bubblicious, right? Double bubba. Hubba bubba. Chew that like gum, right? So anyways, we're kicking it, man. And I could see one night, these guys are on a different level. They're on a serio level, right? So I was like, all right, what you guys getting into? They're like, nah, we got something to handle, right? Well, I guess some Southsiders had established or had been there on the other side of town, and these vatos weren't feeling it, right? Somewhere along the line, they crossed paths, and one of their homeboy got slapped in his mascara, right? So they were about to go put in some work. So I said, let me see what these fucking vatos are about. I come from the no man's land, this it, where we turn it on them Billy Graham style. I want to see how these vatos get down. Shit. Let me tell you, that homeboy right now is in Walla Walla prison doing forever in 10 days, right? Man, this vato fucking shot them up, went on the joyride with the cops. I mean, he did it all, norteño style. I was like, damn. For the cause, he put in his work. Now, you say to yourself, well, that ain't a great life. What? That ain't cool, homie. And it ain't. It ain't cool. I'm older now. At the end, I thought it was cool. Damn, these motherfuckers is with the pro shit. They're harder than the other homie. Right? I thought there was some real shit. But I come to find out, truly and honestly, that was it, man. That was a good guy right there with 2 kids, an old lady, a house payment, a good job. Sacrificed all that for what he truly believed in. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of gangsters, man, and little youngsters that say, yes, right, homie. That's a real one. Yeah, that's a real one that lost a lot of real stuff, and a lot of real people depended on him. Now, I'm not saying that going, getting down for the movement and pushing for your people in your barrio ain't a good thing, man. You always got to stand your ground. You know, I promote standing your ground, man. Not being on the offense or the defense, but stand your ground. You know, never shy away from what it is. But, you know, he lost everything in the process. Just be like that sometimes. That gave me an understanding of the establishment of the Norteño Raza movement out of state. And I'm here to say they're equal, if not fucking some of them more maniacs than I've seen in my life. They're really with that program and that business. That guy is sitting down doing all day for a movement that wasn't even established in the state he's from. He wasn't brainwashed. He wasn't manipulated. He did it out of choice and free will. He was laced with the game and the struggle. And now he's going through the struggle. Are you cut out to be part of that struggle is a question I ask. A lot of dudes talk a lot of shit, even especially about me. Oh, fuck that gun. You're this, you're that. You couldn't hang. You're a dropout. You're not. Hey, guess what? Could you really hang? Really ask yourself, you know, if you're facing life in prison without your old lady, without your children, what would you do? I'm not here to detour you from the fucking barrio or from the fucking cause. Do your thing, Holmes, and represent it well like I did. But understand this, man. There comes a time, case in point, when you need to understand. I don't even digress. I'm just going to be real. When you have to ask yourself, could you hang? Are you cut from that cloth? There's very, very, very few that are. And I'm telling you right now, I wasn't. I'm going to be honest. So I ain't no gangster, homie. You know what I mean? I like listening to music, eating carne asada burritos. I shouldn't because I got diabetes, but I still do every once in a while because I be fucked up like that in the head sometimes. I like doing my thing, and I love boning tortas. So at the end of the day, I have my problems, you know, and that's just what it is. Could you really do it? The out-of-state movement, man, I'm telling you, they was on some real life shit. I can go into detail more on some more stories of what they really did, because one time when we had to do a movida, I don't even know if I can speak on it because I can't, the feds be watching this shit. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose, get everything that you want coming. Yes, man, I'm coming back. Yes, I'm coming for reals. Yes, I'm coming forever. This is the gun. I'm going to be around as long as you guys want me to be around. Collective Clips. Make sure you like and subscribe and share these videos. Let's get me back popping. Gunner's begging. That's right, man. I'm begging for the raza to get their shit together. You already know. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle and struggle and strive for what I truly believe in. And that's bringing the best entertainment I possibly can right here on YouTube. How can you hate on this? They do. Bang, bang.